Aquavia to all my stolen Africans here in racist America. Okay, so I have to do the video teaching all of the stolen Africans, the children of the original Africans who were stolen from the motherland and brought here to this wicked Babylonian country known as America, racist America. And remember, when you spell America, you have to spell it with 3 Ks, Amerikkka, because it's Ku Klux Klan America. So I have to redo the video again because I made a mistake. I put up a video picture of our people being stolen from Africa, and one of the pictures was of one of our queens from Africa. And of course, you know, we as Africans never wore this barbaric thing called bras. This is really a cave beast invention. But in Africa, we have our ancestors, and we as African people, we were not in a savage mind that we had to cover up. And this is just a cave beast invention, and therefore I had the picture of one of our queens. She didn't have the cave beast invention of a bra on, and they punished me for that video by taking the monetization away from it. So I'm going to delete that video and redo it again, and this time I'm just going to show a continent of the motherland. But let me go ahead and talk again the same talking points I was talking about in that first video, because it's important that we as African people understand that all African people here on this continent, we are not African Americans. We never was, we never will be. Do not put American anywhere on your application. Do not tell people you're any kind of American. Just say African. You don't have to say African American. We are strictly Africans because we were never supposed to be a part of this land that the cave beast stole from the indigenous African Indians. Now, the reason I call them African Indians is because, well, they are half African and half Asian, and that's the reason why they look the way they do. They look like dark-skinned Asian Africans, and that's exactly what they are. We had Africans here in this continent before the cave beasts invented boats on their own, or shall I say they created their own boats, because we invented all of that. We taught them how to hunt. We taught them how to make tools. We taught the cave beasts how to survive in Europe, where we banished them in. And I talk about all of that in the video that was titled The Making of the White Man, which is really the making of the cave beast. So the thing about it is that when we were there with our indigenous people of the African/Asian descent, then the cave beast comes over and they have advanced weapons. Yes, of course they have more advanced weapons, because that's where the cave beast kind of excels a little bit. But we have now exceeded them in that level, because you have to think like an animal in order to create these kind of weapons and to conquer peaceful people. And that was the problem of our people. We were too peaceful with these savage cave people. Actually, excuse me, with these savage cave animals. Remember that the cave beast is not completely human being. They're not a complete mammal species. They are part dog, part gorilla, and part from albinos, which albinos are from is a mammal and a human being. And that is because only black people can produce albinos, and that's the reason why we were able to splice the gene from albinos and give it to the scientists to create the cave beast, which has been a science project gone awry. It's just we just really need to take care of and just rectify the mistake that we have been made all this time. Anywho, so when they came to Africa, they just came and just started to pretend to be our friends. This is how they came and started stealing thousands and thousands and thousands and millions and millions and millions of Africans from the motherland, because they knew that they get on their little rinky-dink boats and came to Africa, the motherland, that we would kill them instantly if they tried to attack us or take us against our will. So they try to come and pretend like they did in peace, just like they did with our indigenous African Indian brothers and sisters. They did the same thing. They came to this land that was occupied by the indigenous African Indians, and they pretend to be their friends. And what they did, it was bringing all kind of diseases like gonorrhea, syphilis, and AIDS. Well, it wasn't the AIDS that we know now, but it was a different type of AIDS. It was AIDS in its very, very humble beginning stages. Like right now, you got super AIDS. And like today, it was like the small level of AIDS. And so it still was affecting the immune system to the point where it was killing the pure and noble African Indians in the thousands and hundreds of thousands, and that's how they did it. And so they just pretend to be your friends, and you can never trust a cave beast. Don't have them as your friends. And for whatever you do, to my stolen African queens, never, 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 ever lay with these beasts. They're like dogs. Like you hear that saying where they say, don't lie with dogs or you get up with fleas. Like, this is what these cave beasts are all about. If you lay down with them, they're going to be like dogs. They're going to start scratching as soon as you get out of the bed. And they're so barbaric. They don't even like to have sex in the bed. You know what I'm saying? I've had some cave beasts try to come and want to lay with me. I'm like, ew, no. And like, they're so barbaric. They want to do it anywhere. They want to do it in the back of their car or in the woods or something. They don't even have the decency to have a bed that they want to do it in. And I think the fact of that is because they don't really have a sturdy bed, you know, except for the cave beasts that steal all the money from the African and the minorities here in this stolen land, racist America. I think that's the reason why those cave beasts are able to afford good beds. But, you know, this is, like I said, they love their dogs and they sleep with their dogs and they have their dogs sleep and kiss them all in the mouth and everything like that. They're just nasty because these are people have a dog mentality. They have a canine mentality, and you have to be careful. So, you know, when they pretend to be your friends, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. What they're doing is they're reverting back to a dog-like mentality. You know how you see a dog and it starts wagging its tail, and when it looks at you and it wants to play? Well, you know, I wouldn't trust that dog, because next thing you know, it will bite you when it feels wrong, when it feels like it has been wrong. And that's what the cave beast will do. A dog seems loyal, and so does the cave beast, but they're not all loyal. Don't trust them. So anyway, so when it came to Africa, Mother Africa, and they became our friends, what they would do was they would kidnap us while we were sleeping. And they see, in Africa, we don't drink alcohol, okay? That's the cave beast's invention. Now, they can have that. They're the ones into drugs. They're the ones into alcohol. They're into ones in this barbaric sex and things like that. They're into bestiality and incest. This is what cave beasts do. This is all they do. And so this is their culture. And this is the reason why when we invented them, we sent them way out there in Europe so that they can just do all the nasty, uncivilized things with each other and leave us out of it. And, you know, that was just mistake number one. So along hundreds of other mistakes we had made with them. So basically, they would give us this drink, and they would tell us that it's, good juice, and our African ancestors just trust them and basically consumed it, and then we were unconscious from alcohol poisoning, or we were unconscious because we were drunk, and they're in a drunken state, we're just sleeping it off. And this is how they got a lot of us on the boats, and basically just stole us. And this is the reason we are stolen Africans. We could never, ever, ever come here on our own. Okay, none of us would have signed up to come here and be slaves. So obviously they stole us against our will. And then when they got more of us, they started to get more bold and get more cave beasts from France, from England, from Italy, from all these other places in Europe. They started to get them and come in here in bigger boats. And because they had guns and cannons and a lot of advanced equipment, this is how they waged war on us and were able to take us in bigger numbers. And those of us who survived the trip all the way from Africa to this racist continent here in Amerikkka, that's how we have been here the longest, and we want to go back, but we don't even know our original language. We don't even know what tribe we come from. We're just lost Africans, and this is the reason why we should never, it's just an insult to our ancestors, to refer to yourselves as African Americans. You must always refer to yourselves as stolen Africans, because that's just what we are. We're stolen from Africa, okay? Stolen from Africa, brought here to America. And therefore, this is something we must keep in mind, that we were never Americans. This entire world belonged to us. We were here first. We created the cave beast, and it just was an experiment that's gone well. So please, please, please don't refer to yourself as a black man or a black woman. Don't ever, never refer to yourself as African American. And most of all, never refer to yourself as American. You're never anything American. You are a stolen African. Now, I'm going to have some coons who are going to say, oh, well, I am an American, and I don't care what you say, Shaquita. You're just jealous because, we like the cave beasts. Well, they don't call them the cave beasts. I call them the cave beasts. But they're just saying that they like these cave beasts and they sleep with them. Ooh, and they eat with them and everything. It's like, you just have a pet dog. That's all you have. You just have a pet dog, and you're just attached to your pet, and you want to justify your friendship with your pet. Then do you, okay? Do you, coon? Because I'm not talking to you. And I saw a couple of you on my channel, and I don't care. You're not going to convince me to accept these cave beasts as my friends. And I'm definitely not going to sleep with any of them. I mean, I value my health. I don't want ticks and fleas all on me because I lay with these cave beasts. No, thank you. So anyway, that's all I want to say. I just wanted to redo this video and then do a proper thumbnail next time, so that my channel doesn't get demonetized because I showed a picture of African queens that were not using bras, which is, like I said, bras and panties. I think I should do that video next. Bras and panties are just an invention from the cave beast. Yeah, I think that's my next video, is I'm going to talk about how we as stolen Africans need to wear our African garb and not wear the garb that has been invented by the cave beasts. Okay, so this is Shaquita. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I say to all my stolen Africans here in Races America, Ahuru and Aquavia.